All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Good to see all of you. Welcome, welcome. We are here today talking about AI and the 4 reasons why AI won't work for your business. And we're going to start off by just talking about where all of you are at with AI and what you're seeing in terms of AI and what is working, what is not working, because as we know, AI is continuously evolving. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kelley Tenny. I am the Director of Wisdom inside Gen AI University. And we're going to be looking at all of the changes and things that are happening with AI and really focus today in this workshop on how we can ensure that AI is working for you. Good to see a lot of you on here, a lot of familiar faces. We are also recording this for those of you that are going to be catching the replay. And I want to start off by seeing where you are at currently with the use of AI. Okay, so we're going to do a quick assessment. Number 1 being, I've just heard of AI, all the way to number 5 being, I use AI daily. I use a lot of different AI tools, and I feel pretty comfortable moving in and out of integrating AI into my business. So again, where are you at in the terms of AI? 1, I'm just starting. I've heard about it. 5, I'm really trying to leverage it and embrace it and use it in my business. 1 through 5 in the comments. Okay. And we obviously, in the world of AI, there are a lot of different places where we can be, especially as new tools, new integrations and things like that come out. And this workshop and this conversation is all about how can we ensure that we are leveraging it, and what are some common foundations that we consistently want to be considering as we lean into more integration of AI and lean into adopting more tools within our business, right? Because in a world full of tools, a lot of times we can find ourselves stuck in that spin cycle of what tools should I be using, instead of, oh, I'm actually doing something effective and productive. And I say that from complete personal experience because I find that out a lot. In fact, I was just on a call before this one with a client and I'm helping him build out an online course. And it has been a couple weeks since we've spoken. And I said, okay, where are we at? Like, what have you done from the last couple of weeks? And he said, well, I've been playing with some AI platforms, trying to determine which AI platform maybe can help me record my course, right? So he's leaning into this AI. He's a lawyer. He's super busy. He's leaning into this AI avatar. Can I actually have my own AI avatar that's going to look like me to make it seem like I am the one behind this course? And I said, okay, so what did you come up with, right? And the long and the short of it was nothing. Like, all he's been doing for 2 weeks is like going in and out and playing with possible AI video tools. He hadn't picked one. He still didn't really know the difference of one. And most importantly, what his actual homework was over the last 2 weeks had nothing to do with finding an AI tool that was going to actually help him record his course, because he doesn't have the content yet to record his course. And that was the homework, right? But it made me smile because it is a very common situation that many people find themselves in when it comes to figuring out and learning AI tools, right? So today on this workshop, 4 reasons why AI potentially isn't working in your business, and how can we shift things, and how can we make these our AI guidelines, if you will, to ensure that as we're building out our businesses. I see in the chat, most of you are at level 5, meaning I'm integrating AI, I'm using it daily, right? You're all here probably because you want to ensure that you continue to use it and probably really step up the optimization of how you are using it and not get stuck in the weeds. Okay. Yeah, I don't always use it well, and that's totally typical. And thank you for saying that, because in a world where AI is changing every day, I would love to question how many people are actually using it well, right? Because if you thought you were using it well yesterday, There may be something new that happens tomorrow that all of a sudden puts us back at that like beginner level of, okay, this is something new. And even with tools like GPT-4, they're completely changing. They're adding new features, right? I don't know how many of you are using other AI tools at a level 5. Many of you are probably using things other than generative AI. And I know in a lot of the tools that I use, there's a change. It's like, oh, we added this, or we added that, or now it can do that. I actually just booked a call for a platform that I've been using for years who added AI, and that is new. And they just added another level of AI. And now I'm like, I don't know how to use the platform anymore. Right. And I'm like, bravo for like integrating AI. That's amazing. But, now I'm like, well, I was a master at this platform and now I don't know how to use it. They've changed the way they're doing things. And that's a common pain point, I think, that a lot of us have in the world of AI. So I'm going to share a few things with you, and we're going to really, again, move towards this conversation. And today I want to help everybody hone in on what that is going to look like, right? So like, what does it look like when we are seeing changes and when we are really trying to work towards what AI is going to do for our business? How can we make sure that we're always using it effectively? And what I want to leave you with is I want to leave you with 4 components that will always work no matter how AI is evolving. Okay, so these components and what we're going to share today isn't about how can you use the tool, because we know the tool will change, right? It's how can you approach the integration of the tools inside of your business to ensure that they are always working for you. So I'm going to dive in here and I'm going to ask for some comments and things like that for you to share, because I'd love us, again, to have a bigger conversation together and have this not all be about what I have to share, but have us conversate around some of the things that we've been experiencing and seeing, and utilize all of our knowledge, since clearly from the chat, we're all a level of experts to some degree on AI, how we can work to make things more efficient. So, reasons why AI won't work for your business. Okay. Here is a true fact. One of the statistics that I saw recently is that like only 1 out of 5 people leveraging AI are actually going to leverage it in the most effective and optimal way possible. Okay. Even though we all consider ourselves 5s, right? Even though we all consider ourselves regular users of AI, people who are integrating AI, right? What we really know is that in an ever evolving space of AI isn't working for everybody. And many people are using AI less effectively than they actually think. Michelle, I'm going to give you kudos because I think you've already realized, yes, I use it every day, but as you shared, I'm not using it in an optimal manner. Okay. And so what does this mean? Like, why is this a problem? Well, the problem is that we have a lot of people around us raising their hands, saying, yes, I'm using AI, potentially thinking that they're using AI in an effective and efficient manner. And many people are probably wrong, and they're not using it in a way that is going to be optimal for their business. And so, one, we have to ask ourselves, is this us? Could I be doing things that is going to allow me to use AI more effectively and optimally? And 2, are the people that I'm listening to actually using it as effectively and optimally as possible? Because something that has been born since AI has become so mainstreamed is that it's birthed a lot of experts on AI, experts who want to talk about AI, experts who are using AI for this, that, and the other thing. And in a world where we're all trying to learn what everybody else is doing so that we can be more productive and more efficient, are we actually listening to the right people? Okay, and that's another thing that we want to consider. So a little bit about my journey around AI and how I started to leverage it, right? Which could be true for many of you. And I'd love to hear your own stories on how and why you chose to dive into AI. Is the plain, the simple piece of it is that I was really busy. How many of you are really busy? Anyone? Right? Let's see those hands. How many of you are really busy
Right.
inside of your business? Yeah. It's like, heck yeah, I'm really busy, right? So in a world where we're really busy, oh goodness, yes, yes, right? In a world where we're really busy, one of the attractive components of AI is that it's going to allow us to work more quickly, right? It's going to accelerate what we do. And so you can see here, I'm a mom, I'm a business owner, I speak. I actually um, am the managing director of a women's networking group here in Southern California. So I manage our events, I plan our monthly meetings, right? I wear a lot of different hats in different companies. I'm the vice president of an amazing company called Codebreaker Technologies outside of my own business. I teach full time at the university level. I'm the director of wisdom inside Gen AI University, right? So I'm wearing a lot of different hats. And with those different hats and trying to run my business, AI is something that was very enticing. And we all have that, right? We all have different hats that we wear inside of our personal and our professional lives. I know many of you just sitting on this call, what I know about you is that you have a lot of different things that you're doing. You're growing different legs of your businesses. You have different branches within your businesses. Maybe you have a couple of businesses. Maybe you have something new that you're trying to initiate, right, as part of your business. And so AI can really help us leverage that. And I think that's why many people are trying to use AI. I think as soon as they saw what I can write a book in a day, what I can create 90 days of content in an hour. If you think about all of those AI experts that are out there running workshops, many of those workshops are about faster, 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 faster. Okay. And so the busy component is something I think that we've all leaned into and we've all felt, how can I do more on my own? And AI really solves that pain point. But there are a lot of problems that people have with AI. And I'd love to see how many of these actually resonate with you, or how many of these are thoughts that you've had at some point in your AI journey. Okay. One, AI makes me a little nervous. Does anyone in here still get nervous when they're using AI? Still wonder about things like security? Still wonder about things like um, authenticity? Still wonder about things like what is the future of AI going to be, right? We've got a lot of like doomsdayers out there. The AI is going to take over the world and replace all of our jobs and raise our children, and what's going to happen, right? But there's a lot of components of AI where people still find themselves a little nervous. When I host my Women Who AI Summit, right? And at this point, through 3 summits, I've interviewed probably on the good side of 60 plus women who are using AI. That nervousness of the unknown continuously pops up, right? Because I think we can all admit that when things are moving very quickly, while this is amazing, we know that there's another side of it, right? And we can call this like the dark side of AI, but we know that with every good becomes bad. And some people are just really nervous about that. They don't know how to embrace it. AI doesn't sound like an actual human. How many of you have used AI and thought, well, that could not be more computer sounding than the automated voice that I hear when I call a 1-800 number, right? We've all run into that point where it's like, oh, well, that doesn't sound like an actual human at all. Maybe that's with content creation. Maybe that is with something with trying to find the avatar, like creating a video avatar of yourself, or duplicating your voice with AI, trying to get it to sound like you, where you go, oh, that just does not sound like me at all. Giselle says, I've had a few sessions when it sounds so robotic. Yeah, absolutely. Right. It's funny. We were playing with, I took my kids to see a musical the other day with a good friend of mine who is also a big leader in the AI space. And we were playing with AI because there was a line from the musical that we were kind of like quoting in the car. So we asked AI to speak, we asked GPT to speak the line, and it was very robotic. And we said, well, can you speak it sounding like a human? And it said it the same way. and the play was based in London. So we said, can you say it like somebody who lives in London? And it said it the exact same way. And like we were laughing because it didn't change its tone at all. And so then I was joking and I said, can you speak it like you were Elvis? And it added the word baby, but it literally was like, it was like, I would love that too, baby. Right. And so like we were laughing because it was so computerized and it actually snuck that word in, but it still didn't sound human, right? It still sounded like a computer. And that's something that we're still seeing. AI can't replicate what I do inside of my business. How many of you have things you do inside of your business where you think it'd be great if there was an AI that could do this, but you recognize that can't happen, right? Like there are things you do in your business that you have to do inside your business. And so I can't completely replicate everything that we're doing. AI is not authentic. How many of you have run up across that? And I want to stop sharing for a second and I want to see get your feedback from everybody that's in this workshop. How many of you are still brushing up against the balance around how authentic am I running my business if I'm using AI? Is anybody still coming across that, whether that's with content creation, and that was the component we had on the call with my client this morning, is he was like, I want to record my videos. And he's on this fence around, do I create an AI avatar that looks like me and sounds like me, but I know that it's actually not me and I'm selling this course? And do I say, hey, you're going to buy this $5,000 course from me, but hey, guess what? It's actually not me. It's this AI avatar that's feeding you this information. Do I find the time to sit and actually, take away from my law firm and sit and actually record these calls and these recordings so that it is authentic? Like, what do I do? Do I sell a course that says you're getting my AI avatar? And is that going to hinder the price? Like, how many of you have come across thoughts like that, where you're just like, where is that line between what I provide, what authenticity is, how transparent am I to my audience in terms of saying, AI helped me write this blog, AI is helping me write this content. Do I try to pass it off as myself? Does it even matter? Right? Where are you guys at with that authenticity component? I would love to hear, because again, so many of you are using it daily in your business. How have you tackled that? And what are you doing to stay authentic or in alignment with your views on authenticity and how you run your business? Michelle, I'd love to hear from you.
So I use it sometimes when it helping me to create engagement posts for a client's group with like different tips with different themes per day. And at first I felt weird because it was like it wasn't me doing all of the work. So how do I put a value on that? But I was like, but I did have to take the time to teach AI to do what I wanted it to do. And that did take a lot of time and a lot of tweaking. And then I take each of those posts and I take out all of the robotic um, phrases and then replace them with real human phrases and everything. But at first I felt bad. I told the client, oh, I used AI to create a lot of this stuff. And she said, I don't care. It's great. And that made me feel better about it, but maybe not all clients would feel that way. And so I did have a hard time putting value, like a monetary value on the work, because then I was trying to figure out how long would it have taken me versus how long did it actually take me? And where do I weigh the pricing for that now? Am I taking, hours away from myself? Am I um, and I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around that. Do I charge the same as if I did it all myself, or do I charge less? What do I do?
Yeah. Yeah, that's certainly a thought that I hear a lot of people going through. Does anybody else have any insight or anything they want to weigh in to that point or around the idea of authenticity and using AI?
I'll contribute. You know, I think it's about self-worth. If you're delivering what they've asked and you've gone over and tweaked it with your own style and humanized it, your time is your time. Your deliverable is your deliverable. For me, how I got there is really, it's just a mute issue. How you get there. We used to go to the library. We used to buy books. So it's just a more accessible way to get the information.
Mhm.
And it was interesting the other day, I have a ghostwriter, and she was struggling with something in the book. And I said, why don't you put that into chat and just say, which theme do you think is the best way to go with? I would never do that.
What is it?
To me, that's their loss.
Mhm.
It doesn't, because you're using AI, doesn't make you less of a business consultant, less of a anything.
Mhm.
It actually means that you're smart enough to incorporate a contemporary skill to enhance your own. And the last thing I'll say is, I don't think I've ever done anything in any AI platform that I didn't thoroughly put through Grammarly, read it 100 times, tweak it, add a personal story. So
Mhm.
it's a base for you to expand your knowledge. It's
Yeah.
not a replacement.
Right.
So
As long as we use it as a tool and are not just using it for just copy and
right,
paste.
you can't anyway, it's not good. There are
Yeah.
grammatical errors. There is very robotic thinking. It doesn't, unless you do an article and you keep prompting it to do more. What are the facts that you found? Who else has experienced this? How else does this show up? Like you have to keep, but that's your research. So
Mhm.
the money's off the table, charge more.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Because
you don't
plenty
have
of
to
time.
justify to a client where you got there. Just say,
Yeah.
here's your whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I don't need it. I guess I don't need to tell them. I guess I just felt guilty the first time that I did it. And I was like, you know,
Hopefully you let that guilt go today. Gone.
Yeah. Yeah, and one, I love that, Shelley, and thank you very much because I know how much you leverage AI, and I think it's really important to get other people's insight and perspectives for the people that are struggling with that kind of authenticity question. One, it's a tool, right? Like that would be like saying, well, the graphics that you created on Canva, you didn't draw them. Like you didn't design them inside Photoshop. They're not really your graphics, but we all know that Canva is a tool that we use, right? Like I'm not being inauthentic because I used an iPhoto because I didn't actually take the photo myself, right? We know it's a tool of resources that are available to business owners. And I think we need to recognize that obviously AI is a much more powerful tool to the extent that it actually can create content and things like that for us, but it is a tool within our business. And Shelley, I just love how you beautifully basically stated how you get to the end result is nobody's business, right? Like if you're hiring me to do X, Y, and Z, and I deliver X, Y, and Z for you, right? It's none of your business what my internal processes are to give you the deliverable, assuming that you are happy with the deliverable and the deliverable is exactly what you asked for. A lot of you are chiming in the chat like, we train AI, but is it any different than me having a virtual assistant who I say, go and take this and do this for me, right? And, or having an agency. Many of you have agencies. So if someone's hiring you and you pass it on to your team, right, that's still the internal piece of how you're delivering. The other thing, what my business coach often tells me, because I have struggled that, and Shelley, I love that you use the term self-worth, because I do think a big part of it is that underlying factor. Is I used to say to her, like she'd say, what are you going to charge to create someone's course? And I would give her, I go, this is what I'm thinking. And she'd say, that is way too low. And I'd say, well, but if you take like my hourly rate and I multiply it by how many hours it would take me to actually deliver that, this is where I come up with that. And she said, just because you're an expert and you can do it in a quarter of the time faster than your client doesn't mean that that's what you should be charging. Right? She said, because, for you to create someone's course, it might take you 10 hours, but if they were going to do it, it might take them 40. So like my value of like, well, my time, that's all, it's only worth my time. It's not worth my expertise, my insight, right? My guidance, the accountability, the structure that I provide, right? All of those other things. It's more than just that hourly component. And I think that's true for AI, right? Just because it means we can deliver something more quickly doesn't mean that it's inauthentic or that we are worth less, right? We
I'll
actually,
share a quick
yeah.
story with you. Years and years, like literally over 20 years ago, I owned my personal training company, and I hired a vision coach. And she came and she said to me, so, my favorite question, what do you want? I said, people on the West Coast are earning $200 an hour. I want to be a $200 an hour personal trainer. And she looked at me and she said, okay, you are. Like, what are you talking about? She said, as soon as you hold that value in yourself,
Mhm.
that's nothing about deliverables. That's
Mhm.
just about
Yeah.
value.
Yeah.
And so after she said that, I turned to all my clients and I said, so listen, starting next Monday, I have my rate increase. It's going to be blah, blah. And you know what? It's about self-worth and fear of money. It's the women money topic.
Yep.
But my experience is that if you have the self-worth, you ask for it, usually they're just going to say, okay, just
Mhm.
tell me when you want that to start.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so, right. Self-worth, packaging and pricing is huge. But at the end of the day, we don't want to work for $20 an hour,
Mhm.
not with the time, energy, and knowledge that we have.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. And here's the other thing that I really like to lean on with AI. How many of you are actually getting things done quicker because you're using AI? How many of you are saying, I have more time because I use AI? Do you know what that means for me? That means for me that I can spend more time focusing on my clients. I have more
Or kids.
time, right? To like be more thorough when they send an email. I have more time to, I don't know, relax, which means I'm happier. I'm more present when it comes to working. I'm not burnt out, right? So like it's all the value, right? It's not just about like the money and the hourly and the component. It's about recognizing that if I master AI, that means I am a better businesswoman and that I can serve my clients at a higher level because I have more time, right? To allow me to be more present, whether that's personal development, whether that's, like I said, work-life balance, whether that's having more time to say, let's get on a call and talk about this, where maybe I wouldn't have, because I would have been like, I still have to write my emails and 8 blogs and do my social media content. Right. So like it's way more added value, 2-3 times content production, more time. Yeah, it allows us to deliver better service, to be better in our businesses, which ultimately makes us more valuable. Right. And so it's all part of the big mix, I think, that we're seeing. Okay. AI takes too much time to learn. A lot of people feel like there's a huge learning curve when it comes to using AI. And I'm going to address this when we talk about the 4 keys, because one of the things we want to ask ourselves about is, do we need to learn this? Right? There is a learning curve with a lot of AI tools. And I had a company they brought me in as a consultant and they were trying to learn an AI platform. And I won't share the AI platform, but they were trying to use the AI platform. And they said, well, we need your help. We've been, trying to learn this. And I said, why? Like, you actually don't need that AI platform. You have people that you're already paying in your company that can do that. Now you're paying for the platform to do it. And now you're paying the people to sit there, when you actually could just tell the people to leverage tools like GPT or Claude or something like that. You can get rid of this whole platform. They were just spinning their wheels trying to use the platform. It's an amazing platform, but it's very extensive. It's nothing where you can be like, oh, I signed up for it and I'm using it tomorrow. So we really have to be smarter when it comes to the tools that we're picking and asking ourselves, do we need to learn this? Is this something that's going to solve a problem right now in my business? AI changes very quickly, and a lot of people feel like AI doesn't foster real connections. And as I said, what I love to say is if I'm using AI, I actually have more time to foster real connections in my business because I have that time back where I'm not getting stuck in the weeds in different areas of my business. So, what are the 4 things that we can do to make sure that AI is going to work for us? When I said in an earlier slide that AI doesn't work for most businesses, it's because they are missing these 4 things. Okay, they don't consider these 4 things. And I know that when we consider these 4 things, it doesn't matter what tool we're looking at, it doesn't matter how AI has changed, it doesn't matter how GPT 4.0 is going to be something else in the near future. None of it matters because these are foundationally components that we want to think about regardless of the AI that we are using. And when we have a good handle on these components, we can make sure that whatever AI tool we're using, whatever change happens, whatever evolution comes to play with AI, if we're solid in these 4 keys, then we're going to be able to use AI as effectively and as efficiently as possible. And as I go through these 4 keys, I want you to ask yourself, are you aware of these things in your business? And I know many of you are because I know many of you as business owners. How can you help your clients come to these things so that when they move into leveraging AI, part of what you can help them with is also using that effectively and efficiently. In the business of online course creation and curriculum design, I would love to help my clients leverage AI so that they can complete their courses at a more effective manner, right? Now, I'm not here to tell them or to teach them how to use AI. That's not what I do inside of my Teacher Brilliance business. But I certainly would love to support them in being able to complete the task faster. And I know that if they don't have these 4 keys in their business, whatever they end up doing and coming back with is not going to be completely quality. Okay. So assess your business. Okay. Are you clear on your mission and values? Do you have a standard of procedures? What is your business's organizational structure? And are you clear on your business goals? I have seen a couple people talk about, and they've asked me about whether or not I have used AI to leverage writing a book. And I have not. I have I have a book actually sitting right here on this laptop that is waiting to be finalized and produced. I did not use AI to write that book. Does that mean I'm completely against people who are using AI to write their book? As long as they're being transparent and, like many of you talked about, doing what they can to add their own, run it through Grammarly, put their own voice in it, making sure that it's in alignment with their mission and values, they're going to do what they're going to do, right? But here's what I am going to say and what I often ask. Why are you writing a book? Are you writing a book because everyone else is using AI to write a book? Or are you writing a book because it's in alignment with your business goals, right? Because it's in alignment with your mission. Maybe that's helping you accelerate your mission by coming out with a book. Maybe it's going to help you reach more people so that you can get your mission across by writing a book. But if it's not in alignment with your current business goals and your mission and values, then why write a book, right? And we're in a world right now where people are getting really caught up with all of the things that they can do with AI, when in reality, they need to have a really clear picture of what their business needs. Okay. The second piece of this is standards of procedures. I have a lot of people that will say to me, I try to use AI to create my content, but the content just isn't good. Like, I might as well do it myself. And I say, well, how do you approach writing content in your own business when you sit down to say, write a blog? And they'll tell me, well, here's my process when I write the blog. And I'll ask them, did you tell that to AI? Or did you just tell AI to write a blog? Because if you think about your ideal avatar, and if you do some research, and if you consider what your main theme is going to be, and if you take a look at 5 other blogs that are written in the same way, and that's how you come across and create the content for your own blog, but then you're just skipping all of that and you're telling AI to write your blog, it's not going to have the same foundations as you because it's not using the same process or procedure. So the more you can solidify your processes and procedures, the more you can give it your framework, the more you can give it your blueprint for how you write a blog, your process, the better AI is going to work for you. Secondly, AI tool analysis. Finding out what the right tool is for your business and your business goals. As I shared earlier, if you don't have a place in your business where you need to use Synthesia to create a talking AI avatar of yourself, don't bother trying to use that tool. In my own business at this moment in time, I don't ever see myself using a Kelley AI avatar. I just don't see it. The educator in me loves this interaction. I love to show up for on video. I love to feel like I'm speaking to my audience. I love the interaction, the human to human interaction. I just don't see it. I don't see myself ever delivering content where it is actually not me delivering the content. That's my strength. That's what brings me joy. So I would ask myself, why would I use AI to replace that and to take that part of what I actually love about my business out of that? That being said, that means I'm not going to spend time trying to learn tools that will allow me to create an AI avatar. It's a downfall for me at this moment because I have a lot of clients that ask me, what AI tools should I be using to create my own AI avatar? And other than saying, these are some of the things that I see other people using, I tell them I don't know which tool is the best in that realm because I don't use it and I haven't bothered to learn any of them. Right? Because that wouldn't be an effective use of my time and an effective use of leveraging AI. Now, when it comes to, I don't know, creating graphics, that's not my strong suit. So maybe I know more graphics tools when it comes to AI, but many of you might say, are you kidding, Kelley? I love to create I love to create my own graphics. Like I'm an artist. It allows me to be creative, at which point you don't need to use Adobe Firefly. You don't need to learn how to leverage Canva. Okay. So really think about what are the right AI tools for you and your business, because we all know there are hundreds and hundreds of AI tools out there. And every day on LinkedIn, I see another post about the top 100 AI tools to do all the things, and they're always changing. So when you think about that, when you think about what AI tools are right for you and your business goals, what areas are you leveraging AI with? Is it with content creation? You don't have to tell me the actual tool, but I'd love to know what area of your business you are wanting to leverage AI for. And it could be all areas, but like I said, it could be more around content creation. It could be more around graphics. It could be around PowerPoints. I do a lot of trainings where I need slide decks. Slide decks bog me down. I don't hate doing slide decks, but I get stuck in the weeds, right? I'm the person that's like, is this the right shade of yellow? Let me try 500 different images before I finally pick the one that's going to go in my slide deck. Can I optimize the background? Things that maybe aren't the most effective use of my time. So leveraging an AI tool that will help me with slide decks, right up my alley. Okay, but like I said, maybe I'm not leaning into video production. So what is one area of your business, and share it in the chat if you're so willing, that you know that you can leverage AI that's in alignment with your business goals? Email and content creation. Okay, supporting materials. Yeah, right? Emails. Many people don't love writing email sequences. Data analysis. Yolanda, I love that. I'll have to share with you. It is escaping me right now. I just found an amazing data analyzer that's an AI tool, and what it has been able to do with data and predictions and reading spreadsheets. It's like blowing my mind. And it's not GPT. It's a specific data tool that's allowed me to run a lot of things. And the prediction that it can do is completely time saving. And honestly, it's predicting things that I never would have because, quite frankly, I'm not an expert when it comes to data analysis. And we have that. Like, how many of you recognize you have data at some area in your business that you're not even analyzing, right? Our email platforms give us data, our social media gives us data. Like, there's so much insight that we can get from just the data we have at hand, whether it's YouTube video views, right? There's so many analytics that come with a lot of the platforms we've been using, but many people just don't have time to analyze that data or to even say, like, what do I actually do with that data? Customer analysis and innovation. Yeah, Marika, I love that. Right. So there's a lot of things that we do well in our business. And I am a believer that we can't do all things in our business, right? Because when you try to do all things, you typically don't do all things well. But it's really about when we go back to why AI isn't working, it's potentially because they're not leveraging the right tools. And they might not even know how to determine what are the right tools. Do I need a tool, going back to this platform that I spoke about earlier? Do I need a tool that helps me do 500 things? Or maybe I just need a tool that helps me do 2. But we don't know that if we're not clear on our business, on our organization, on what we currently have in place. A lot of people don't have things in place. And if you don't have things in place, it's almost impossible to say, which ones of my workflows is getting bogged down and can I use AI to leverage that? When we talk about prompts and workflows and things that we're using, you have to be aware of what your current workflows are before you can even think about how can I use AI to leverage that, right? And then of course comes that what tool is right for that. Many of you are doing consulting and you're working with clients and helping them find the right AI tools, helping them learn how to leverage AI. Marika, I know that's something that you do with your clients, right? As you help them with that AI integration. But we really need to be clear on what is your current business, where is it at, and what are the right tools for you to integrate. Okay. From there, we want to customize and train our AI. We had that around one of the pain points. It doesn't sound like us. It sounds too computerized. It doesn't sound authentically like me. It sounds like generic, right? How are you training your AI? Are you sharing your brand voice? Do you even know what your brand voice is? Have you told AI your mission and values? Like when I create content, this is the overall mission of my business. These are the things that I value, the things that I want to instill. Please reflect those when you create content. Does it know about your products and services? There's a big difference between help me write copy to launch my 30-day program called X, Y, and Z, and help me write copy to launch my 30-day program that is called this, that is meant for this client, that will allow them to do X, Y, and Z by the time they are done, that addresses these pain points, right? That helps them get over these false beliefs. Think about the difference in content you can write just by feeding that information. Those of you that are part of Gen AI University, and have seen Darby's creation of things like the business blueprint, the market sauce, right? Things like that give us a wealth of information. And as many of you have heard me say, there's a lot of people that walk away with those documents and they don't know what to do with all of that information. And if you have a business blueprint or you've gone through the market sauce and you have run something like that, are you giving it to AI? Those are the exact informational components that you can use to train your AI to help you produce better results. Does AI know your ideal client avatar? Do you know your ideal client avatar? Can you describe your ideal client avatar past my ideal client is a small business owner who's making 6 figures, who has less than 5 people in their company, right? What are their pain points? What do they wish? What are their dreams? Okay, the more we can give AI, the better. And a lot of times that's where I see people cutting corners. There are many of you on this call that do amazing things when it comes to customizing and training your AI, right? And of course, find the experts. In a world where everybody is a self-proclaimed expert, it's really important that you are finding and learning from reliable AI experts, people that you can trust, people that are harnessing these 4 keys. They're clear on their business. They're using the right tools. They're using the right tools ethically and authentically. They're talking about more than just copy and paste this into your social media. They are taking the time to customize and train their AIs, and they can tell you how to do the same, right? And be part of a community that really allows you to be surrounded by like-minded experts. Now, that being said, I'm going to stop for a second because I want to go back to this customize and training AI component. I would love to hear what you currently are doing to customize and train your AI and to identify maybe components where you're thinking, do I cut corners here? And how can I close the gap so that when I am working with AI, I am working with it in a way that is allowing me to really get it to know more about my business so that it in turn is generating better results. What are some things that you've run into, some things that are working for you? Michelle?
So I've created several different bios that I share with AI before I start asking it to do things. And if I'm doing it for a client, it's not my bio. So I asked AI what it needed from me in order to accomplish this task. And then I took all of those questions to my client and, asked them those questions, gathered that information, and then that helped me create this document that I basically upload or I copy and paste into AI and said, this is the client that I'm working for. This is what they're about. This
Mhm.
is, this is what we're trying to do. And then I start telling it, help me do this and help me do that and create this and create that. And I found that that helps a
Mhm.
lot. It's not perfect, but it helps a lot. But the biggest thing was, and I learned this from you, Kelley, is that I can ask AI, what else do you need from me? So it's not garbage in, garbage out. It's real good information.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I love that. Giselle says, my lack of patience is where I cut corners. I don't prime AI with the details that's necessary to get good output. Yeah, because it can be time consuming, right? So the other question is, how can you leverage that piece? How can you leverage that component of if this takes too much time, how can I speed that along to feed it to make it faster? Right. And Michelle, you should maybe there's a document you give to your clients, you let them fill it out. Right. And then you just upload that and allow it to kind of move through and just feed from the document from their own words. Shelly, Marika, I'd love to ask you guys what you guys are doing. Do you have a process for how you're training AI with the different tasks that you do when working with clients?
Ricky, you want to go?
Okay, I will go. I'm learning all the time. So what I do now is, for example, when I have conversations with our clients, I use Fireflies to get the transcripts and the recordings. And then I directly, after each meeting, I add it to my customer persona to improve continuously the persona on real-time data. So that is one of the things that how I learn to understand my customers better. Another thing what I do now is I'm not a content, I produce a lot of content, but I'm not a marketer or a content producer. But what I became aware of, say a year ago, I was really happy with the fastness of AI to make my content. And now I'm really get bored of all those look-alike content that you really know it is made and produced by AI. So I discovered for me it works that I speak to AI now in my own voice, in my own language, with all the fluffy things that is on my mind. And then I use one prompt to structure the content that I talk to the AI, and that really works quite well, because my posts, the content that I make so far, are becoming more and more authentic with my voice and my way of looking to things. So talking to AI is for me really leveraging content making.
Yeah, I love that. That's a lot of good feedback in terms of how not only you're using it, but it seems really like it seems pretty effective too. Like I can definitely see me doing that without feeling like I'm spending extra hours. Right. I love that idea of, what you're feeding AI. Shelley, what are you doing right now when it comes to kind of customizing and training AI?
There's a couple of things I've done that, are we all women? No, there's a man here. I won't say what I was going to say. All right. I'll give you a great example. Big client specifically spent 2 weeks honing in what she wants, narrowing that I want. My company is 1.5. I want to be 3 by 2026. So I have this thing about me. I have to take hand notes. There's something about hearing it in my hand, like takes the keynotes, even with all the dictation and the recording, you know what I mean?
You're speaking my language.
Yeah, and here we are,
Yeah.
yep. So I must. So I've actually created pen to paper tools, but AI. So it's 2 weeks. What do you want? Be more specific. I then went to chat and I said, this is the situation summary of the client, of the business. There is, these are what she wants. Can you please give me 5 benchmarks for getting there pertaining to each want? Holy shit. That's all I can say. I turned around, I'm like, that's it. Talk about saving time. And when I tweaked it a little bit, but gave it to her, she's like, let's do it. She signed up for like, I can't even, let's do it. So it's really about being specific to your notes and then just bulleting that and say, can you turn that into 2 paragraphs? My key, I love it, and make it compelling. Then I go back and I say, please remove all redundancies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that has been really amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I can see like in all of you that shared, and thank you for that, right? It's all about that process, right? So when you go back to that first piece, like and analyze your business, like what are the processes that you're using? How are you organizing your stuff? Like all 3 of you shared things that you already have done with your clients, right? That was part of your process. Recognizing that part of that means that you can now give it to AI, right? And leverage that. And when we don't have that clear picture around, like you said, Shelley and Marika, like I know on my clients, I'm always on a Zoom call, right? That's just how I work with my clients with curriculum. So not transcribing that Zoom to have it to give to AI would be silly, right? It would be something that I already do that I could leverage. Taking notes, like you said, Shelley, like painstaking notes around everything that my client says is something that is really easy. You already do it, and now you can leverage it, right, to give and customize and train AI about your clients. And that is an important key, right? So Giselle, when you're thinking about lack of patience, I just don't know that I have the time or the patience to prime AI. And I get it, because when I sit down with nothing, I don't have the patience either. Like I don't want to write a book to AI to ask it to write 5 goals for a client. Like if it's not there ready for me, now it's bogging me down, right? Like now it's taking more time than I want. But the question is, ask yourself, what are you already doing that you could just quickly leverage to give to AI so that you are giving it more of that background information that is customizable? Yeah, Marika.
Yeah, so Shelley, I'm curious. You're taking notes. And I'm taking a lot of notes myself as well. And now about leveraging, I learned to take my notes a little less fluffy. So I can make a picture through AI of my notes. then it reads my notes, and they are already by a picture in AI. So first I used Google Lens for it, but now you can do it, you make a picture of it and put it in ChatGPT, and it can read notes. So that's a little bit about leveraging from my side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what I do? Like I read my notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just turn the mic on, I read my notes
Right.
That's good.
out loud,
Yeah.
you know, and then there you have it, right? So, I mean, essentially I'd be rereading notes for my clients anyways. So I just turn it on and I read them, and that's how I put the information in there. So there's a lot of things that we can do. And when we talked about finding the right AI tools, that's part of it, right? Is like, you know, I don't mind reading my notes aloud. That's very easy to me. Marika, for you, you're just like, it's very easy for me to change the way I do notes, take the picture and upload it. So that's also part of it. And this is why I want to just go back to that final key, finding the right experts. Hi, Bruce. It's so good to see you.
Hi, Bruce.
Finding the right experts is, we're in a world right now where many experts are talking about cookie cutter solutions. And I know many of you are inside Gen AI University. I think that's one of the biggest things that sets us apart in Gen AI University is we recognize that AI isn't it's not cookie cutter. This whole use AI, watch my content workflow, develop 90 days of content, that might work for that expert in their business, but that might not work for me in my business on how I approach things, right? Or that might not work for Marika on how you do things, right? You can see even how we just talked about how we move from knowing about our client and giving it to AI to customize. Not one of us had the same process. Like every one of us had a different approach to that because we all run our businesses a little bit differently. And that's how you stay authentic, right? It's like we're using what we already have in place in our business, and that's how we're leveraging AI. That is how you get AI to work for you. It's not by borrowing somebody else's idea of what they do. It's about saying, this is how it's going to work inside my business because this is what I'm already doing and how I can leverage it. And to me, that's what's going to differentiate the AI followers from the AI innovators. You don't have to be the person that knows all the tools. You don't have to create AI. The innovation comes from, what am I doing inside my business? One, by that first key, do you have a business analysis? Have you assessed your own business? Two, what tools are using for me? Just because someone over here who's a $5 million income earner is using this tool doesn't mean that tool is going to bring my business to $5 million. And then three, how are we customizing it? And Giselle, I so appreciate you for talking about like where you run into that, because it's like, how can we find a way to customize it that works for us? Some people run things through like Otter. I don't love Otter. Otter is just like not my thing. I've never used it, right? So like, that's not a way I would train my AI. But like I said, turning on a microphone and reading my notes out loud, easy, easy. Marika's probably like, great, video's done. I'm just going to transcribe it. I'm going to get up, do other things. By the time I'm done, that transcription's there. I can upload it. I can take the picture, whatever it is. Right. So it's really about that piece. Yeah. The AI savvy leader. I've read that. And I think that is really what it's about in this always changing world of AI. How do you stay in the front running? How do you lead? How do you be the pioneer? It's not about knowing every new tool. It's about knowing how you can leverage it and how you use it inside your business, and really learning how to put your blinders on and say, well, that's great that this person is doing that, but that doesn't work in my business. And getting away from that FOMO. One of my best friends has a super successful business. And she just said to me that she does all things AI. And she just said to me, I've actually lost revenue in my business because I'm not doing what I'm good at, and I'm chasing all the new AI tools. Yeah. And she's like, I'm panicking. Like my revenue is down And I need to stop trying to be the leader of every new AI tool and go back to what I know in my own business. Right. And it's like light bulb moment. But it's easy to get caught up in that or to not really have embraced that we are all innovators if we are trying to figure out how to leverage AI inside of our own business. Okay. So again, like looking at those 4 keys, really thinking about, do you have all of those keys in place? And are you in a component and are you in a place where you're able to consistently identify and use them? I'm going to put them back on the screen really quickly. Making sure you have a good assessment of your business, making sure you do a good analysis. What AI tool is right for you? Every time I see a new AI tool and I think, oh, free trial, oh, I can get in, oh, everyone's using it, I have to stop and go, is this in alignment with what I'm trying to achieve in my business right now? Okay. Customize and train your AI. What systems do you already have in place where you are able to take that and leverage it to custom and train your AI? And are you surrounding yourself with the experts, like-minded people who are not chasing the latest and greatest tool, but are really trying to create something that they can fully leverage inside their business and with what they are doing? Okay. And for those of you that are not inside Gen AI University, I want to invite you in and join us. Shelley is a member of Gen AI University, Marika, Bruce, I know, right? Like, come in. We've got this amazing community that really is about that innovation piece. Okay, so I've dropped a link for you. If you're not in Gen AI University, there's a lot of great options, monthly subscriptions, annual memberships, but you'll find a lot of information in there, right? With having this type of mastermind and this bigger conversation around how can I learn to leverage, what are other people doing, and how can I erase that FOMO and really step into that innovation mindset of being the pioneer and not the follower. What is the cost of spending the time? Yeah, totally, Bruce, right? Like if every one of us, if you had every person take their hourly rate and calculate how much time they're spending trying to learn a new tool that potentially isn't going to even help them increase their revenue or their time, it's a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money lost. But that's why I think it's important to really be in that container of where are people who are not just buy my new tool, look at this new tool because I get an affiliate link for it, which is a lot of those experts, and really be able to leverage that community of like we just had. Shelley, how are you doing this? Give me some ideas, right? Marika, how are you using it? And have people to kind of mastermind and bounce ideas off one another. So if you haven't checked out Gen AI University, come in and join us. Lots of fun and innovation going inside of that community. And if that's not a place where you're ready to step into yet, really making sure you're asking yourself these 4 keys that we talked about today, right? Like what's going on in your business that you currently have? What are you trying to achieve? What tools are going to help you do that? What are you giving AI that is customizing your business, your brand, your mission, your values? If you're using it with clients, what are you giving AI so that it's customized for your clients? And then, of course, who are you surrounding yourself with when it comes to that expertise and that community? I find it's a delicate balance of staying aware of the industry news, new tools, and only going deep. Absolutely. Bruce, you and I have been there. We've had a lot of conversations back and forth. Have you tried this tool? Have you looked at this tool? Have you looked at this tool? Right? I'm sure we all have. And just finally being in a place where we're like, okay, what tools am I actually looking for? And finding the tools, as I shared, that are going to help you remove things off your plate that are taking too much time that you don't love to do. I had a client say, I effing hate social media. Like I hate doing anything with social media. And I'm like, well, then find a tool that's going to help you create social media posts and post for you. But if you love writing blogs, then write your blogs, right? Like we all deserve to have things that we're doing in our business that we love. If you love showing up for live video, don't worry about the AI avatar. Show up and do your live videos. And that's a big question. I think that's something we really need to look into and give our permission to say, that's great, everyone else is using this, but I actually like to do that. So I'm not giving that up in my business, right? But I am going to give this up. So like the AI Summit, so I could be introduced to several tools. Yeah, and that's why having a community is so powerful, being able to say like, hey, I'm stuck in this small component of my business. What are some workflows that you all are using or some tools that you guys are using that are working well in this piece? Because it's not a one size fits all, right? It's not a one size fits all. So yeah, so with that, keep on moving forward with your AI innovation. Thank you to all of our experts that showed up today and weighed in on some of the things that are working for them. I know I heavily rely on many of you and what you're doing and what's working for you. So I appreciate you taking the time and joining us in this conversation around making sure that we have those components in place so that we're using AI authentically, effectively, and efficiently. And again, if you're not part of Gen AI University, make sure you come on in, check out the membership. We'd love to see you on the inside. I am recording this, so I will be sending out the replay for anybody who missed part of it or wants to go back and watch. And with that, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for spending the hour with me, and I'll see you all soon.
Thank you, Kelley.
Yeah, thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.